Today, we got a special episode. I have got my former employee who became a millionaire at just 24 years old through real estate investing. And we're going to talk about his journey, how it happened. I've got Ray Rodriguez. What's up, bro?
What's up, man? Appreciate you having me.
It's crazy because you started working here at 20 years old. Now you're 26.
Yeah.
And it's like, I still think of you as like a little kid.
Fair enough.
But you're a grown man.
Yeah, I guess so. I still think of myself as a little kid, so it's all good.
There we go. And then we got the bald co-host here. You know, Brian Davila used to be the most success story ever, but I think
Ray's beating me out now.
Yeah,
he's 10 years younger than me, bro, and he's a millionaire.
I know.
Crazy.
I know.
When I was 24, bro, I was still doing drugs. That's, just for context. I didn't even start real estate till I was 25.
I mean, I didn't start flipping until I was 25 either.
Damn.
So something I tell people, because people tell me all the time, like, oh, wow, it's like super impressive, like blah, 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 like what you did at a young age. And, you know, I always like say thank you and whatnot, but I really don't think the age is what's like impressive in my opinion. I think what's impressive is how fast some people go from like 0 to whatever level they get to. So you're saying you were still doing drugs at 24, whatever. Okay, yeah. Cool. You might not have had like the exposure or the privilege to be exposed to like what I was exposed to at a young age.
Yeah.
But once you did get exposed to that and you got off the drugs and whatnot, you became a millionaire pretty quickly. So I don't think it's fair. You know, someone might be watching this and they're like 50 and they've been working a blue collar job forever. And maybe they just never had a shot to get into this business. Right. And then they watch a podcast from you or whatever, and then they take action and boom, 3 years later, they're a millionaire. I think that's arguably more impressive. So that's just my 2 cents for, you know, on what you guys are saying there.
I think the average is 4 years. That's what I heard. Like you could become a millionaire in 4 years in real estate if you
really just go hard.
If you really go hard.
Did you come up with that stat yourself?
No, it was actually Steve Trang. I remember I used to watch.
For sure, Steve pulled that out of nowhere.
Yeah. Well, sure. That's what I saw. That's what happened with me, and that's what a lot of people.
That did happen with me too.
Exactly. Yeah. So it has to be true.
So 2 people, 3 people.
Yeah.
It's just true.
It's a fact.
Yeah, I'd say like the big players, or like I put big players in quotes. I've seen a lot of those people that end up really dominating. Yeah, they become a millionaire in like 3 to 5 years. But I do think the average person who does real estate like never even makes more than like $100 grand a year.
Yeah.
So
it never happens.
Yeah.
So for those who don't know, let's go into your story, right? How did this all come about?
Yeah, so I was in college. I was cutting hair and flipping sneakers, painting sneakers, just outside of my apartment. And my fiance, well then girlfriend, she sent me this TikTok by another Asian guy, not you, but Kong, talking about how you can make 10 grand a month doing this thing called like wholesaling real estate. You don't need money, so I checked that box. You don't need a degree, I checked that box too. You don't need a license, so I checked that box as well. And I was like, okay, I don't have any of these things. I have time to kind of get into this. It seemed a little too good to be true. So I started watching some other content creators. Like at the time, Jerry Norton was making some videos. And then I spent a few days watching content. And then I got a video recommended to me on YouTube by you. And I was like, let me just click on this guy's channel. And this small YouTube channel had like 500 subscribers.
Yeah, I just started.
Right. And you had posted like 3 or 4 videos. But the one that I clicked on, it was like your 4th video ever, right? And you were talking about how you were flipping 100 houses a year in Las Vegas. And you talked about how you're a Christian and a former professional athlete. And I just resonated with all of that. I mean, I was not a former professional athlete, but I grew up playing sports and I am a Christian and I am in Las Vegas. So I figured I kind of resonated a lot with that. I started watching your content for maybe 2 weeks. I sent you a DM after like 2 days of watching your content. And then 2 weeks later, you made a post on your Instagram saying you were looking to hire someone to help you with social media. And at the time, even though I was cutting hair and like doing the sneaker stuff, I had a basketball YouTube channel with like 30,000 subscribers that was making like $1,000 to $1,500 a month. And so I was like, look, I'm not, you know, a huge content creator myself, but I have 30,000 followers on YouTube. I can probably help out with a thing or two. And so you gave me a job here. I strictly did your content for the first 3 months. I told you in my interview that I wanted to get into real estate. And so after 3 months, you let me start making some cold calls for your real estate investing company while I was still doing your social media stuff. And then the rest of the story is I just started doing more real estate. Took me 9 months to get a deal. And then after that one, you let me do more real estate and less social media until eventually I was only doing stuff for your real estate company. And then I just kind of did my own thing with real estate afterwards. So I would say that's like the 90-second story of how all that played out.
Yeah. Well, dude, we have more than 90 seconds, so we can kind of expand a little bit. I'll say some things, and I totally forgot this until you started retelling the story and memories started coming back. But what was interesting was I'd seen you commenting because I wasn't getting like tons of views and stuff. And it was like Ray Paint Shoes or something.
Dang, that was my account.
Yep,
Yeah.
I remember.
Yeah.
And I was like, who's this kid? You know, whatever. And he's just always commenting on my videos. And then, yeah, to your point, I made this post. And at that time, you know, I was like, okay, the social media thing, like with YouTube and TikTok, I think it's going to be pretty big. And I was like, I need some help because I had already gotten editors and video, but I was like getting tired of posting. I was like, I need somebody to help me with posting. But they got to have experience with social media before. I don't need just like a VA. I want somebody who understands content. And you made a video, and I don't remember if you edited one of my videos or something, but you made like a really good video. It was like a 2-minute long video, and it was introducing yourself. You're like, hey, dude, my name's Ray. I have this YouTube channel, like you just explained, with basketball and all this stuff. I understand content. I understand. And you proved to me that you understood content. You were like, you know, I'm not going to click your video and not watch it because that would decrease your watch time and your click-through rate, and it would make your video show less. So I'm not going to do that. And then he was like, and I've been an original follower from the beginning. Go check the receipts. Here's me commenting here and all this stuff. I'm in Las Vegas. I'm young. I'm hungry. You know, I'm ready to work.
Nice.
And I was like, damn, what else would I want? I didn't ask for that. Nobody else sent anything like that. And I was like, this kid is the best I've ever seen. And I showed the team and I was like, we got to hire this kid right now. Like, let's get him in. And I remember interviewing you. And, you know, we just talked about it. I was like, here's the pay, whatever, you know, and you told me you wanted to get into real estate. That's why you were watching the videos. I was like, for sure. Like, you're going to be in the environment. You're going to learn real estate so fast. It'll be insane. And that was like the more attractive part to you. Like, it was a door into real estate. But then I remember maybe like after a week or something, you wanted to quit.
So I actually wanted to quit before you hired me.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It was like after I was like, all right, bro, you're hired. And then the next day or two, he's like, hey, I actually have to turn down the job.
Yeah.
Dang.
So yeah, that's exactly what happened. I told my parents, I was like, hey, so I just got this job. Just wanted to let you know. And my parents were like, dude, what are you doing right now? Because I was a full-time college student and I had my YouTube channel that I had told my parents I really wanted to focus on. And I was still cutting hair and like painting shoes. So basically my parents told me I needed to focus. And
I was cutting hair, painting shoes.
yeah. And I was like, yeah, you're
Going
right,
to school.
Mom. I need to focus on school. I had a full ride scholarship for my academics. And I was like, you know what, Mom and Dad, you guys are right. Like, why am I going to throw away my free education to go work? I can go work the rest of my life. And I was like, okay, I agree with you guys. I was like really nervous to call you and tell you, hey, like, sorry, I can't do it. But called you and you closed me on staying and like actually and like showing up for my first day. So
I don't even remember what I told you, but you were like, yeah, dude, I think I really need to focus on college and all this stuff. And I was like, that's stupid.
Yeah, I don't remember exactly what you said either, but it was the right words to close me on showing up for the first day. So I was like, all right. And then I showed up and you know, started working here for a few years.
Yeah, so I had you posting the content, helping like with titles and thumbnails and descriptions and
Yeah,
that.
I helped edit this podcast, you know.
Yeah.
That wasn't like my full-time thing editing this podcast, but I definitely edited a few of them for sure.
Yeah. And I don't think I had you got hired before Justin.
Yeah, I was the social media manager, and then he came in and he was better at it than me. So then he got
took it over.
he got that role, and I was cool with it because by then I already had like 1 or 2 real estate deals under my belt. So I was like, oh, I can just focus on what I want to do anyway.
Yeah.
And my salary stayed the same. I was making well, I started making like $2,000 a month here. So I was like, I'll happily take the $2,000 and then go do real estate.
Yeah, you know what was funny? Now I'm thinking through how all this played out. So, you know, I hired Ray. And my social media really blew up in 2020. And, you know, it was like basically me, him, and this other guy, Sion. And I think that was it.
Yeah, it was just us three.
It was us three. And so that was like the first year. I edited all my own TikToks. because I was just doing them on the screen. And then I later found Ryan McGinn during that time. And I was like, hey, you need to start editing my stuff because I don't want to do this anymore. Then I hired Justin. And then Ray, being a little entrepreneur, I raised his pay. He was like at 4K. And then Ray's like, well, I can just hire somebody else to do my job for me.
Yeah.
So he hires Angelique,
Yep.
who's been on the team since. So he hires Angelique and she's doing his job for him.
Yeah.
And she's doing it better.
Yeah.
And it was just like, I'm like, wait, so I'm paying you $4,000 and you're paying her whatever. And you're also doing real estate.
Right. No, that's true. Because I went to middle school with Angelique and her twin sister. So like I've known them forever. And I guess she was like looking for a job or something. And I was like, I'm tired of doing this social media stuff. I just want to go look for real estate. And so I started, I think I was giving her like $2,000 a month. It could have been less, could have been more, somewhere in that ballpark. So I was just taking the $2,000 from the $4,000 that you're giving me.
He's just pocketing the other two.
I was like wholesaling you.
Yeah,
he was
like
wholesaling.
great entrepreneur, terrible employee.
No, but he was a good employee. He
Yeah.
figured out a way to get it done. And I was like, nothing didn't get done. I'm like, Ray, this is what I need done. And it got done. And he hired somebody else to do it. And then finally he started to get good at real estate because he sucked at first.
Yeah.
And we'll talk about how that progressed. But eventually, once I saw he was getting deals, I was like, dude, you know what? Like, you don't even need to be doing social media anymore. You're actually costing us both money by you being in social media. Like, let's get you in real estate full time now because you've proven yourself.
Yeah.
But yeah, I will say, so your journey, to your point, you said it took 9 months. Let's talk about that. From my perspective, I already had this team built out. We're paying for leads. We're an engine that's running. And, you know, I have this young 20-year-old who's my social media guy who wants to get into real estate. And I'm like, you know what, man? Like, I'm not giving you leads. I'm not going to waste money on that. Like, I already have a team who's experienced doing that. I'm going to make you learn the hard way. So like, what was it like?
Just cold calling the crappiest data. That's like,
that's what it was like.
Yeah. I mean, that's really what it was like. Just whatever list you guys gave me, I just sat there and pounded the phones. I was working like 12 to 15 hours a day, every single day for months in a row. I was exhausted. I wasn't feeling good.
Wasn't feeling good.
21 years old.
Sleep.
Yeah. I mean, okay, you think I wear a hat for fun? Like, I went from having an afro, right? Like, I had a full head of hair in September of 2020 to being like bald in December of that year. And you know what? Funny story. If we would have filmed this podcast like any day after today, so today I've like never done anything about it, and I don't even mind like admitting it. But I'm gonna go like a little toupee on later today. I have an appointment after work, so we'll see.
You're getting a toupee. Wait, how's that gonna work?
Well, maybe I'll bring Davila with me so he can get one too.
Oh, good. I'm good.
Well, there's this like barber in town, and
why don't you just let it go, brother?
That's probably what I will end up doing.
Yeah.
But
Why
I'm
not
just
go to
try this
Turkey?
out.
Yeah.
I actually had like a consultation with a couple different surgeons for like a hair transplant because a lot of my friends have gotten them.
Yeah. Can we see it? Can we see it?
At the end of the episode, keep watching.
Yeah.
There we go. He knows content, dude. He knows.
Yeah.
Watch time.
Yeah, exactly. Got to get that retention, you know.
You're gonna see a massive skip.
Yeah. If you see a reflection on the camera, it's the light reflecting on my baldness. But so I spoke with a couple doctors, and they told me to go from where I'm at to like a full head of hair. It would require 2 transplants, and they said that there's 2 different types of transplants. The first one that I would need is like the more painful one, and what they said is my head is going to hurt for like a month afterwards because they have to take a strip from the back, and then they're going to they'd have to like pull my skin down and like sew it back together. And so they said I can expect to have a headache for a month afterwards. I'm like, okay, for like with what I do for work and just the quality of life that I want to have, I'm not willing to have a headache for a month just to have some hair and then have to go get a second transplant done. Like,
you're like the opposite of what's that kid Clav? You're the opposite of Lick Maxing right now.
Yeah, so I'm just like,
do it.
I'm like, that's not worth it for me. If it wasn't like a month of a headache, I'd do it. But
what would they tell Brian?
Oh man, they'd say there's nothing they can do.
Dude, no.
Don't listen to the realtor.
No, dude, Floyd Mayweather has a full head of hair now, and he was bald for like 30 years. Have you seen him?
Yeah,
he has a straight hairline and everything. Wow. And he was bald his whole
LeBron
career.
was the first guy to like do it.
Yeah.
So we'll see. You know, maybe if this video does well, we'll do a part 2, and I'll show you all the afters. So
wait, so one was they like take out a strip. What was the other one?
I don't remember exactly how the other one went, but they told me that other one was like a lot less painful. There's one called an FUE and one called an FUT. I can't remember which is which, but they told me I would have to go with the more painful one, and then after I was done with that one, I'd have to recover and then go do the other one. And they said then at that point I would probably have like 90% of my hair back. And I'm like, yeah, I'm just not.
How long does it even last too?
They said if it's done well, it can last like 30, 40 years.
Whoa,
wow.
So
dude, a month of pain?
Yeah,
dude. I would
30 years for looks maxing.
I've had,
we'll see.
I mean, look how much pain you went through to lose your hair.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. Sometimes I just do whatever I'm in the mood to do. So if one day I'm like, yeah, I'll book a flight to Turkey, then I'll probably do it. But as of now,
I know they have it in Mexico now too.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it's a lot easier.
Closer.
No, my friend has a clinic out there and like they do them for people. But
okay,
I don't know. Like
Dude, when I was his age and I started losing my hair, I was like, you know what? I don't even care anymore.
and
I
you
was
just
just so
lost yours
lazy.
from drugs.
Yeah, I was just lazy, bro. I officially lost mine during COVID because I stopped going to the barber. I was like, I'm not going to the barber. I'm gonna catch COVID. So I started shaving my head.
Catch COVID at the barber.
That's when I started shaving my head, and then I was like, you know what? This is way easier than like getting haircuts.
Shaving your head? How often do you shave your head?
Like every 2 days. I just do it in the
That's way
shower.
more work.
But I just do it in the shower. I don't have to like go.
I get a haircut every 2 weeks, and I do nothing in between.
Well, how much do you pay every 2 weeks?
$150.
So that's $300 a month. I'm saving $300 a month. That's $3,600 a year.
Yep.
That's $36,000 a decade. If I 10x that,
Yep.
I mean, dude,
that's $360,000.
It's a lot.
Just haircuts.
But how much more money does being better looking make you? Looks
I don't
amazing,
know.
dude.
I don't know.
yeah. I mean,
Jeff Bezos is bald.
That's true.
I mean, that's an anomaly.
He's jacked
Brian's
now.
bald.
Hey, but Jeff Bezos got on peptides and stuff now, and he's looking.
That's
He's
true.
jacked.
I
That dude
know.
is that,
Sure.
that he looks like a unit. He's insane.
All right, let's get back to the
Yeah,
story.
let's
So
get
you
to
you lost your hair trying to get this first deal,
Yeah.
and then like
And then what
you
happened?
find how big was the first deal?
$3,000.
That was worth it.
Yeah.
Tell me about it.
Well, I cold called a lot. Got a contract signed. So I met up with the seller at a Starbucks here in town. They wanted to sell a like fire damaged duplex that they had. And I don't know how much we could offer for it. I sent it to your team, and your team was like, "Hey, we don't really like deal with this or anything." Or maybe it wasn't a duplex. Maybe it was like some small commercial or something.
Yeah.
Because I think they could have given me a number for a duplex for sure.
Right. It was probably commercial.
Yeah, most likely. And so I met up with the seller, got the contract signed for like $200,000, and then Dispo ends up like sending out the deal, and all the buyers come back at like 80 grand, and I'm like, oh, like this sucks. So I had to cancel that, and the sellers were super pissed off. Oops. And that was the story of my life for like the next 8 contracts that I got signed.
Went 0 for 8.
Yeah. I mean, I was like really good at getting people to sign these contracts, but the prices that we were offering, it just like we couldn't move the deal, or we couldn't buy them. And so then I asked the guy that was your COO at the time, I was like, hey, I know I don't work here, because that was made like very clear to me. I'm not a part of the team, but I was like, just to benefit both of us, do you think before I go meet with these sellers and make them an offer, do you think you could tell me what the company would pay for at least? So that way, you know, I don't have to go cancel on these people or whatnot. And so then he was like, yeah, we'll just start telling you what we can pay. And so then I got another one signed, and that still didn't end up working out. So my first 8 contracts didn't close. Then we got a contract locked up over the phone with some lady in Gardnerville, which is like 8 hours north of Vegas. And that one ended up closing, and Home Run made, I think, 30 on that one. And I got like a 10% cut of that. Yeah. So I got $3 grand on that one. And then I felt like I had proof of concept.
Your first deal actually made 30.
Yeah,
I was thinking it was a $3,000 assignment.
Well, for me, I made $3 grand.
No, I know that.
Yeah,
being a sales guy.
Yeah. And then I was like, I don't really want to keep making these cold calls. I've made probably over 100,000 dials at that point. I'm going to start looking for deals on the MLS and see if I find anything. So 3 weeks later, I got a deal on the MLS, and my cut was 20,000. And so at that point, because I ended up getting my real estate license during those months where I was making cold calls, and I never did anything with my license or anything. But when I found that deal on the MLS, I just represented myself as the realtor. And so I got a 3% realtor commission.
Yep.
And then I think you and I split the wholesale fee on that, like 50-50 or something. So my cut was like 20 grand.
Yeah.
And so I made 3 grand in 9 months, and then I made 20 grand 3 weeks later. And then I think I got another deal like 2 weeks later that made 10 grand. And then I didn't get anything for like another 3 weeks. And then I got another one like at the start of January. And then I did 26 that year or something.
Yeah.
And I don't really remember all the numbers from there, but it just kind of went from no deals for a long time to making 3 grand to then 20, then like 10. And then,
how many deals did we end up doing together? I don't even remember.
We did around like 40. Yeah.
So we did 40. You basically became our go-to MLS guy.
Yeah.
And how did we even structure those? You just kept the commission?
Yeah, so you gave me an option on these. I could either keep the commission and you would flip the property and keep whatever money that the house made, or I could credit the commission to the deal. So let's say I got the deal for $300,000 and I was getting a 3% commission. I could credit the $9,000 to the deal, so you'd be buying it for $291.
Yep.
And I would get 30% of the net profit if we did that. So I did a combination of both. Some of those I would just keep the commission.
Yeah.
Others I would credit it to the deal. In hindsight, and I wish I would have kept the commission on all of them, because some of those lost a ton of money and I never saw a dime. But I mean, it wasn't good for either of us. So
yeah.
And I could argue I in a way got like the better end of that deal too, because all I lost was like the commission I put up.
Yeah.
So yeah, I had some that I just took the commission, and some
How
where
much
we
do
did
you think you made during that time?
I know from January to June of 22, I made $250K. Yeah,
in 6 months.
Because you gave me an award for that, because I had made $250 grand in 6 months, and then I left in September of that year.
Yeah, because we stopped buying flips.
Right.
Yeah, we once the market shifted in June of 22, I was like, we ain't buying no more flips. This is like not good.
Yeah. So I didn't really make any money the second half of 22, and so because from January to June, I was like crushing it, just doing deals with you.
Because the market was great.
Right. And I can't blame you for not buying more deals, because I mean, no one wanted to buy deals when the market shifted. But I was just making, like 10 grand here, 10 grand there, which I mean is still good money. But when you go from being used to, making $250K in 6 months to then like maybe I can, right. I was like, I think I have to go, do it on my own now. And we had talked about that in my interview. I said, hey, I don't want to work anywhere like forever. I want to start my own thing. And I don't know if you remember this, but you said like, hey dude, I mean, everybody tells me that, and everybody ends up staying. And I was like, hey, who knows? Like maybe I do end up staying for a long time and just work here forever. But I'm just being honest with you during my interview, saying that my plan is to learn and eventually go start my own thing. And I mean, I'm grateful for the help I got from both of you, because I was able to do that.
Yeah. Yeah. So it ended up being like, what? That'd been 3 years ish.
Working here?
Yeah.
It was 2. It was from September of 2020 to September of 22. It felt like a long time, but it was only 2 years.
Wow. It did feel longer. Yeah. So you go off on your own in 23. Yeah. And I remember we had the question too. And I was like, bro, like, we're just not buying. So like, you really should just go do your thing. Like I don't know how I can help you anymore. And you've clearly already like developed skills and everything else. Like you don't need to be here.
Yeah. No, I mean, that's exactly how, that's it. Like that's literally how it happened. And then I just kind of started doing it, going on my own. And being an actual business owner is a lot different than just being a sales guy. As a sales guy, you only have to worry about one thing: just get this deal locked up, get it closed, and that's it. But being a business owner, I'm like, holy crap, there's all these other things that you have to deal with that I didn't really realize at the time. And one time, some dude came up to me at a bar like 3 years ago or something and was like, yo, I've been watching some of your TikToks or whatnot. You used to work for Ryan. Like, I'm a sales guy. Like, what are your thoughts on starting like your own like business or whatnot? And I told him, I said, dude, when I was just a sales guy, like doing deals with Ryan, there'd be times where maybe he would make a decision that I didn't fully agree with, and I would be a little upset, but I just, bite the bullet. But now that I'm a business owner and I look back on each of those decisions, I'm like, oh, I would have done the exact same thing. So there's just so many things that just being an employee or being a salesperson, you might not realize until you're actually taking all the risk yourself as the business owner, and you have overhead and risk and expenses and staff to manage, and like everything falls back on your shoulders. So it's been a cool couple of years. I don't ever see myself not doing entrepreneurship, but I mean, you never know. So it's been cool.
So walk me through like how 23 went, 24, 25, all that stuff.
Yeah, so I think we did 600K in revenue in 23, and I ended up making, gosh, I wish I knew off the top of my head what my net was on that, but it must have been a decent amount because I only had one guy that I was paying for at the time, and he's still on the team now, actually. But we did like 600K in revenue, and if I had to guess, maybe 400K was my profit that year.
Yep.
24, we did $1 million in revenue, and I took home probably like 600, give or take, because we're only spending max like 10 grand a month on marketing. We're not doing all this like fancy stuff that well, I guess I lied a little bit. In 24, I took home a little less because I experimented with direct to seller, and I was spending like 40 to 50 grand a month for 6 months from January to like May or June. And a lot of that, it was just a loss. We didn't do that great with direct to seller, but then, so I probably took home, I don't know, I shoot, call it like 400 to 500,000 instead of the 600 that I said earlier. And then 25 last year, we did 1.49 in revenue. And then I took home around half of that. And so far this year, I mean, we're in April and we're in the 600s in revenue. So we'll probably, we're probably looking at like a $2 million a year at the pace that we're on right now. I'm hoping to pick that up a little bit. We're at like 40 or 41 deals closed so far this year. So I mean, not bad, better than last year technically. And last year was our best year. So I can't complain.
Yeah. Hey, if you're looking to get started in real estate investing, then you need to use our Cashflow 2.0 system. We give you all the motivated seller leads. We give you software, one-on-one coaching, and everything you need to start your real estate investing business. And we've seen so much success from our students with this system that we are willing to guarantee it. So if you want to learn how it all works and how you can get your first real estate deal today, go on over to wealthyinvestor.com and apply. Someone from our team will get with you, and you could have your first deal within a week once you get on this system. So head on over to wealthyinvestor.com and we'll see you there. So let's talk about strategy. You're mainly doing, I mean, you've done it all from the time you were with me to now. Like you started off just cold calling. You then went to the MLS. You tried direct to seller. Wasn't for you. Sounds like you're still just mainly MLS and agent outreach.
Yeah. All we do is just build relationships with realtors, stay in contact with them so they send us deals, and that's it. Like that's the entire business model.
Yeah. What do you think went wrong with direct to seller?
Well, we hired a ton of different agencies, like a PPC agency, a direct mail agency. And we'll talk PPC. All the leads that we were getting, they were just not what we were looking for. So we'd get a $400,000 ARV property, and the seller's like, yeah, I owe $380 on this house. And I'm like, okay, there's really not much we could do. Maybe subject to, but I think this lead would be perfect for a realtor. If they owe $380 and it's worth $400, really like taking it over subject to, or having a realtor list it for you and expect that you're not going to make a dime. Those are pretty much like the only options. And those were just all the leads that we were getting. Our most profitable deal from PPC was the $20,000 wholesale that was a mobile home in Pahrump that we bought, that we locked up subject to, and we assigned it to somebody else. And it's like, normally we're not even doing mobile homes, let alone mobile homes in Pahrump, let alone mobile homes in Pahrump that are subject to. And, so we just weren't really getting the leads that we're looking for. And when each lead costs you like $500, plus you're paying $3,000 a month as a management fee to the people running your Google ads, like we just didn't get any good leads. And then direct mail, I spent $10,000 my first month with them, and we got 2 phone calls, and both of them were people saying, don't you ever effing send me mail again, blah, blah, blah. And so I was like, okay. So that was another like $10,000 down the hole. And then I was paying for PPL, And those leads were like $400 to $600 a piece, depending on the provider. And half of those people never even pick up the phone. We're calling them from like 10 different numbers. We're spamming these people, like trying to get them on the phone. And then these PPL companies are like, sorry, there's no refund if they don't answer the phone. And I just kept blowing money on all that stuff. But when we'd actually get leads, our close rate was really good. Our sales guys were closing like 30% of their appointments. And so that was pretty good. But yeah, most of these dollars that I spent were just wasted on people that never answered the phone, or they were just not a qualified lead at all. So I just shut that off, because all the profit I was making from the deals I was getting from realtors, I was essentially making zero money at the end of the month, because I was losing, let's say I would lose 30 grand a month on the direct to seller marketing,
Right.
and then I would profit 30 grand on the direct to agent.
We call that a 1x ROAS.
Yeah.
Not good.
Yeah. And so I just was like, I'm done with this. So after a couple months, I think I lost like 80 grand in total. And I was like, yeah, I'm out of here. So I just stopped doing that, and I haven't touched direct to seller since.
You sound like a scarred man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That sounds like a great.
No, it's not like I've been divorced. I'm like, no.
Yeah.
Like, is this what you're experiencing?
Yeah.
Are you bald?
Yeah.
You lost $80,000.
Yeah.
Wealthy investor, you can get 30 leads, this.
Yeah.
And didn't you go deep in like sub 2 for a while too?
Yeah. I mean, I went deep into like the learning it, because I just saw the opportunity. I'm like, okay, interest rates are 6-7%, and then there's all these people buying houses with a 2 to 3%. I missed that boat. I wasn't in real estate when interest rates were 2 to 3%. But if I can just learn how to go get a 2 to 3% interest rate, that's going to be great. So I spent like a month really educating myself on the subject to stuff. And I mean, right now I own 10 of them. So I mean, I guess it was worth it.
Oh, you owe
but-
10 sub 2s? I didn't know that.
Well, sub 2s and seller finances. Yeah.
I didn't know.
And I've watched.
Do they
a few
cash flow
episodes.
anything?
Man, I wish we had Zuber here.
Zuber.
Have another debate.
Okay, an old.
So okay,
No.
Brian will answer.
yeah.
When
On
you
a
start
month-
with well,
Yeah.
it's like that's not.
So here's the thing. On a month where
But
everything
hold on,
goes
but
well,
it's
right?
back in.
Yeah. So it's like on a month where everything goes well and like nothing breaks, then
You break even.
then then I might net like $2 grand that month if
There you
everything
go.
goes well. But
good.
those months are far and few between. So like I have an Airbnb, right? And I don't even manage it, but the property manager is texting my dad, who does like all the rehabs for my property. It's like, hey, the guest is saying that the oven isn't working, and I'm like, okay, just use the stove or go get takeout or something. And then they're like, no, we really want this oven. So my dad goes out there and he's like, yeah, I'm not sure how to fix this. So now I had to go pay someone from the manufacturer $240 just to go out there and take a look at it. And then they're going out there today, and then I have to pay them for like whatever the actual problem is. And so that property, that my Airbnb, on a good month profits $400 a month. So this month, I guarantee you it's going to be no profit or even in the negative. And so like I have another property that makes like $200 a month. The water heater went out last month. So it was $400 like for a new water heater. And I think I spent another like couple $100 for someone to install it. So there's no profit there.
Yeah.
So like,
Zuber would say you're just not making enough offers. That's
I
what
mean,
Zuber
I'm not
would say.
necessarily saying I'm looking for more like rentals. Like I don't wake up.
So do you think it breaks even for the year, or
Probably
loses?
just it's probably a little bit of a loss. If I
For
had
10 rentals.
yeah, to be honest, I do a good job with
And
like,
you have low interest rates.
yeah.
You have the lowest rates you could
So
possibly
I have
get.
a 0% seller finance. Yeah.
It still makes no money.
Yeah. No,
0% interest rate
right.
rental.
I literally
Still
don't
loses
pay
money.
this guy. I still lose money.
They're
I have
paying
no
off.
payments.
Yeah. So literally I have 0% on one, and on a good month it'll net like 350 when everything goes perfect, right? Then I have another one that it's a 2% interest rate, and that one, when everything goes perfect, it nets like 400. Then I have another one that my Airbnb, when everything goes great, it profits like $400. So even let's say everything always went to go well, right? I'm making $2 grand a month. I'm still responsible for like almost $3 million worth of debt to make $2 grand a month. And then I have a good amount of equity in these. Let's say I'll take two properties, for example, that each have 100 grand in equity. I could sell them and lend out that 200 grand and make, 2 grand a month right there. And
With no headache.
Yeah, with no headache. And I would still have the other 8 houses. So I'm like, what's even the point of these rentals? But I'm going to keep them for now, just because everyone that's like old and has been in this game for a while, they've all told me they wish they had rentals. But I mean, I don't know. So I'm just going to hold on to these. Worst case scenario, I just keep my 10. They'll probably be each worth like $1 million 30 years from now, right? And they should in theory be paid off. So I'm like, all right, at least I'll have these houses paid off or whatnot. But I'm not like,
tell them about the car wash deal that you're looking at.
Oh,
because you have $2 million in real estate debt, right?
More than that, dude.
Well, let's say 3 million.
Yeah.
And then you have this other opportunity.
Okay. So I've had this conversation with you before, and I think you and I have like different perspectives on things. I know you like to start multiple businesses and kind of like hand them off. For me, I've only ever had one business, and I've told you I don't really plan on doing anything else. But this week, and I get pitched stuff all the time. I don't know why I paid attention to this one more than the others. Someone's like, "Hey, dude, what are your thoughts on buying this window washing company?" And I'm like, "I'm not interested in no windows. Like, I don't even take care of my own windows, dude. Like, I don't care about that." And then they're like, "Well, it nets 25 grand a month without the owner having to do anything." And then I was like, "All right." I sat up a little bit straighter in my seat at that point, and
I don't think
obviously it's a sales guy, right? So it's like I got to take everything with a grain of salt because
Is he like a broker trying to sell it? Like what? What's his relationship?
I think he's like a wholesaler or something. So it's
he's a business wholesaler.
Yeah,
that's a good one.
Right. And there's a lot of people in like sub 2 that do that. So it's not like all that unfamiliar for me to like see something like this. And so he's like, "Look, man, you can make 25 grand a month just having someone else manage this business for you." And I'm like, "Well, I don't do anything." Right. Exactly. And so what I told him, I was like, "Look, man, I own a business." What he said to me was, "You don't have to do any of the marketing. You don't have to do any of the sales. You don't have to do any of the cleaning. You don't have to do any of the operations." I'm like, "Well, in my business, I don't do any marketing or sales, or like, I don't really do any of that stuff, but I still get called into things like every so often, like, 'Hey, Ray, like, what are your thoughts on this or that?' So I'm like, if I buy this business, do I want to be responsible for the occasional phone call? I'm like, what if I'm closing a 50K deal right now and I have to go deal with your $200 window problem? Like, that's going to upset me." So to what Davila was saying, I have an opportunity to potentially buy this like window business like creatively. So I wouldn't really be coming out of pocket at all. And from what's being presented to me, it would net like 25 grand a month. But I also have a buddy of mine who owns a window washing company. And I told him about this. He's like, "Bro, why go buy this business? I can help you make 25 to 50 grand a month. If you give me like 3 months, I'll help you build a business from scratch. And you don't have to go buy somebody else's business." And I'm like, I've always been focused on like one thing, and maybe that's what I should keep doing. But at the same time, I see all these people that are further along in their entrepreneurial journey that started in a similar boat to mine, like you, for example, or even Pace Morby. And both of you guys are now getting into like the business acquisition side of things, or just doing like things outside of real estate. So part of me is like, okay, is this like a shiny object, or am I like missing a boat by only staying focused on like the real estate stuff? So I don't know. This is just happening in the last like 48 hours. So I'm not even sure if I'm going to do anything or not, but that's a conversation that Brian and I were having, that he was like, "Hey, tell Ryan, see what he thinks."
Yeah.
What do you think?
You said your friend can help you make a window cleaning company.
How big is his company? That'd be my first question.
Yeah. He said they do 120 a month in top line, and he takes home 50 is what he said.
Okay.
Where?
Here in Vegas or where?
No. Well, he has a partner. His partner's in Vegas, but he's somewhere else. Like, yeah.
He has a partner in Vegas.
Okay. So it's $1 million business here in Vegas.
Yeah.
Okay. What do you think?
I don't know. I'm kind of like, I'm all over the place. So like, I get excited when you say like, "Oh, 25K a month." I'm like, okay, that sounds good.
I was like, my rental properties don't even make me 20 or anywhere near that, right?
Yeah.
So I'm like, if I can have something else that takes minimal time, but at the same time, I'm like, I can just go do one more wholesale deal and make an extra 25K a month, and I don't have to go learn all the ins and outs of like a whole new business, because it seems super simple, right? You just generate leads, you close them, you deliver. But every business has more crap than like what meets the eye. Like wholesaling is simple. You generate leads, you close them, you sell the product. But there's like so much more crap that, that you have to deal with. So I'm like, I don't know. So
the game always becomes, okay, why not just do more wholesale.
Right. No, and so that's kind of like right now I think we do really well in Vegas, and so we're trying
You
to
feel like you're capped in Vegas.
I think so, but then I argue with myself as well because there's other people doing deals. So like, why can't I go get those deals? You know, like as far as getting deals from agents, I would say we're top one, maybe, or like top two companies like in Vegas on like the wholesaling deals.
Getting deals from agents. So it's
Yeah.
basically a $2 million a year strategy in one of the
Yeah.
biggest markets in the world.
Right.
Yeah.
But then there's another guy who I'll give him his flowers, Vlad. He does the exact same thing that I do. And you, me, and him had a meeting, you know, at the end of last year, and we all did around the same amount of revenue. Granted, you're in a different market, but I'm like, there's clearly more deals in Vegas. Like he can go get my deals, or I can go get his deals. So
Yeah.
part of me is like, and then
But even if you took all the deals,
The three wealthy investor prodigies.
yeah,
Vlad, Brian, and Ray.
you would
Yeah.
have to.
Why does Vlad's bald too?
Yeah,
There's
but-
this theme I'm
yeah,
seeing here.
Yeah.
you cursed us, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Made us
join,
rich, but then
He
you made us bald.
sacrificed us so he could keep his hair.
join the investor if you don't want hair, but you want to be a millionaire.
Yeah. It's not a bad trade-off.
Yeah.
I'll show you how to have it all and hair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't deliver that part.
No, we're not at that level yet. So, but yeah, and then
So what do you think he should do? Let's get to the.
yeah, okay, let's hear that.
I don't know. I just was chuckling thinking of you three because I helped Vlad do his first deal too. Actually, I helped all three of you guys
I
do
know.
your first
you made
deals.
3 millionaires, and 2 of them are Puerto Rican,
Yeah.
That's right.
and one's
One's
Russian.
Russian. There we
Yeah.
go. We got to help the white people.
No.
Okay.
I'm joking.
All right. So let's see. I mean, I don't like it because I don't think its upside is very big. It's totally new. I would just wholesale in another market.
Do you think he
yeah.
should get into another business eventually?
Yeah, I mean, I think he will. He is clearly an entrepreneur. He was doing hair. He was doing this. He was doing that. Shoes. Like,
Painted
so
shoes.
he's entrepreneur. He was making YouTube videos. Like, so
Yeah.
he has a natural entrepreneur bug, and me as that kind of guy too. Like, I think it needs to be fulfilled. I think that he's reaching up. He'll if he hasn't already reached a point where he feels like this wholesale business is what it is, and if he wants to grow, he like doesn't want to deal with trying to unstuck it. Like that's what happened to me. I'm just like, look, dude, 100 deals a year is like good.
Yeah.
I don't want to do
200.
300. Like it's
Yeah.
just not worth. Could I do it if I really wanted to? Yeah, I could figure out how to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like I would get more fulfillment not doing that.
Or if you look at like what it takes to get to the next levels, and then you're like, do you want to have that? For me, I'm like, no, I don't want 50 to 75 houses
Yeah,
at a time.
and
Like,
it just depends your like demeanor, because
Yeah.
people would say, they'd look at me and be like, oh, do I want to be on social media making videos all day and, you know, deal with people talking crap and whatever,
Yeah.
right? And I'm like, don't bother me at all,
Yeah.
right? And so for them, I don't know if it bothers them at all, but what I would say is, having been burned by the market with debt,
Yeah,
no chance I would have
exactly.
that many houses with debt.
Yep.
Yeah. And then something I'll add is I actually don't think like that company that you mentioned is like the next level from what any of us are doing. They're a completely different business, in my opinion. They're not even a wholesaler. They're flippers. Like that's
Yeah.
strictly all they do. So they buy, you know, like 20 houses a month.
So who's next level? Who would you say?
I think
The next level wholesaler.
maybe like a Doug Hopkins out of Arizona, who
But
I've heard.
he does direct to seller, so it's a
Right.
completely different.
It's a whole different game.
How many agent outreach people are there? Like, have you guys like who's really good at it? That's doing. Is there anyone doing 5 to 10?
I've spoken to like everyone I know that's like a big
No.
player, and I haven't heard of
I think it's like
anybody.
$1 million to $2 million.
And you think it caps out around there?
Yeah, and so I'll tell you this much too.
You could flip though, because like a
right,
guy like Landon
exactly.
can do more flipping.
Yeah.
but that's like a
MLS.
whole different business at that point.
Yeah, you're flipping.
and,
Yeah.
and I don't want that, right? Like, do I flip houses? Yeah, right. Like last year I bought like 25, 24.
But you don't want to do 100.
Right. I mean, I don't even want to do 25. You know, like. So this year I've bought 5 houses, and then I've wholesaled another 35.
Right.
So we're at 41 deals, or
You're only
depending-
buying it if you have to.
not even that. Like I'll take a 5K wholesale fee all day over.
Why would you
buying-
buy them then?
I buy the bangers. Like if
Why
it's
not wholesale it and make the quick money?
sometimes I do. So okay, here's one that my most recent buy. We had like 10 offers, all between like $15,000 and $20,000 as a wholesale. This is a 2009 built house that's like all cosmetic. And I was like, I can make 40 if I just flip this thing and give my dad some work. And my parents are always like, please don't think of us like, when like making business decisions, but it's kind of hard not to if I know my dad's like in construction. So I'm like, I can get this house renovated in 4 weeks and make 40 grand versus like 15 to 20. And I can like provide for my parents. I'll just do that. And so we're under contract right now. God willing, it goes through. We'll make like 52. But and stuff like that. If I'm making like
my rule, I don't know if I ever taught you guys this.
It's like 2 to 1,
3 to 1.
Oh wow! At the time, it was like 2 to 1. But
yeah, for me, it was always 3 to 1.
Oh okay.
Yeah. So for that, I'd be like, nah, I'm taking the wholesale. But if it maybe 2.5, right? 50 versus 20, but 60 to 20, yeah. But like 40 to 20, I wouldn't do it.
Yeah. And then there's been times where I've still taken the wholesale because we had one where I could have made 100 flipping it, but I was like, I'll take the 60 wholesaling it all day.
I would take that all day too.
Yeah.
Because it's not worth the time, the risk, the cash conversion, the headaches, anything that could happen.
And you might not make the 100.
And then
market
speculation.
And I'll tell you, so a flipper in town offered me a 5K wholesale for this house in Henderson. And I was like, I'm not taking your little 5K wholesale. I flipped it and I lost 17,000.
I've done that too.
Right. And then I was like,
I created these rules for you guys to not do what I do.
Every flip that I've done in the last year, I ended up making about the same
as
that
if
I
you
would
would
have made on wholesale.
Yeah.
Seriously.
And then
like
I have
every
this,
single time.
Yeah. And then there's
like scary how close it's like almost exact.
Yeah. And then I'll tell you another one that didn't go as planned. We had this condo that a flipper offered me a 5K assignment for. And I was like, I'm not taking no 5K assignment on this one. We can make 30 to 35 on the flip. And so we flipped it and market was not favorable. We ended up making $4,200 on that house after I held the condo for 8 months, and I just sold it like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I could have made $5,000 8 months ago with like no headache.
Yep.
But now I'm making $4,200 with 8 months of work. And hey, counting my blessings, we still made money. But it's not as appealing when I'm like, I could have had $5,000 for nothing 8 months ago, and now I did all this work, went through 5 escrows, dealt with this annoying HOA. Yeah. Well, it was a condo, and I guess the HOA was having some problems where I don't even know what was going on.
They had too many renters, so it couldn't qualify for loans.
So that was one reason one guy backed out because the HOA said so he was planning on turning it into a rental. He was buying it with the DSCR loan, and during due diligence, the HOA was like, "Sorry, dude, we don't allow any more rentals in here." So that guy backed out, and I was like, "Dang it!" And then no Fannie or Freddie bank was able to loan in that community. And I'm like, why not? All these other properties sold FHA in this community. Like, why can't I sell my house with a conventional or an FHA loan? And I guess there was something going on with the HOA. And then someone eventually came around and bought it with like a non-QM loan or whatnot. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, it took me like 8 months to get rid of that headache and make $4,200 where I could have made $5,000 like upfront. So I'm not a big fan of flipping houses. And I had a conversation with Hormozi when I like went to his event. And before going, his team was like, "Hey, where are you trying to go in like long term as an entrepreneur?" I'm like, "Dude, I'm trying to have $100 million. Like, and there's like a reason for that. There's like a lifestyle that I want to have, and like, I need $100 million."
You told him that?
Yeah, for sure. Like, I want to have $100 million.
I've never heard you say that. Okay.
Yeah. Well, I just take things like one step at a time. But if someone asks me like long term, where do you want to be? Like, like that's.
And by the way, just so people know, how much did you pay Hormozi?
It was over $100,000. Yeah.
What?
Yeah, he did the one day.
No.
Yeah.
You paid Alex Hormozi $100,000.
Yeah.
No, you didn't, bro. Can you show us proof?
Yeah.
I don't believe it.
He told me.
I gotta see proof, bro.
Sure.
That's crazy.
Yeah. I'll show you. I'll show you. That's fine.
I believe you, but that's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, he told me on the call like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
I was like, remember when you met him for free? Like when you worked for
the
me?
elevator when and here's the funny thing, right? Like
what?
I see when I first started working for you, I saw you were charging people, I think it was like $1,000 for like a 1 hour call. And then you increased that to like $3,000. And I was like, why on earth would someone pay $1,000 for a call? And you said that is because there's certain people that have like a certain problem in their business that paying $1,000 is a no brainer in order to get that problem solved. And if you have the answer to that problem, then a business owner would do that. And I was like, I guess that makes sense. At the time that I met Alex 4 or 5 years ago when I was just working here, I couldn't even come up with like a question that I could even ask because it's like I was doing no business at the time. So it's like, what kind of question could I like even really ask him? But then, I started growing my business or whatnot. It's like I can have a more insightful conversation, I guess. But yeah, I paid him a good chunk of money and he was like, dude, I'm gonna keep it 100 with you. I've never seen a wholesale business like ever do more than like $7 million in revenue. That's what he told me. And so he said if I want to get to 100 million, he told me a couple different things, but one thing that he said was to just get out of wholesale and go do something else.
Okay, hold on. Like, tell us the whole story. Like, now I want to know the whole story. Did you go to the workshop first? Yeah. Okay, so just tell us.
Yeah, I went to the workshop, paid $5,000, found it pretty valuable. Then sales guy, they call me in and they're like, hey dude, like how would you like to spend a day with Alex? And I was like, what's the price tag on that? And they gave me the number and I was like, no way, dude, I'm not doing that. And then I was like, nope, I'm out of here. So I left. I was like, no, I'm not doing this. And then I just kind of thought about it for a little bit. I was like, okay, what's the absolute worst that can happen? And worst case is you just lose the money completely. Like you meet with the guy and it's not worth it at all. It's a loss. Now, what would happen to my life if that were true? Well, it would suck to lose, to lose 6 figures, but technically my life would be the exact same. But it's not like I would, be homeless, not be able to eat. And so I was like, okay, my worst case scenario would suck, but I could still live with that. Best case scenario is I learned something that, completely changes my life.
Yeah.
And so I don't think it was anything that I'm like, oh, I didn't walk out of there and like,
Or you came back to them like a month later?
The second day I was like, you know what, I'll do it.
And you just paid at once?
No, I think I did like 30 grand down or something. And then I did like a payment plan or something.
And what did you get? It was just one day and that was it?
Yeah. Yeah, pretty much.
Was it one-on-one?
No, there were like 7 other people there. And so we had like 12 hours and there's plenty of time, for everyone to ask their questions and have a conversation. So we chatted for like over an hour and then a little bit like afterwards as well. So it was cool.
What did you get out of it?
That I should sell my business and go do something else.
Sell your business?
No, that was like one thing that he said. He was like, dude, you should just go sell your business and do something else. But he said if I really wanted to just stick to wholesale and whatnot, he told me if he was my boss and I had to like report back to him, he would expect 6 months from now, I have 2 other locations that are like up and running successfully. So I'm like, okay, that's kind of where like my head was at anyway. But it is good to hear like confirmation from someone who, is worth like $400 or $500 million to see that that's what I'm supposed to be doing. So yeah, I mean, that's pretty much, he was like, hey dude, go open up 2 more locations then if you want to just stay in wholesale. So
did you get anything else out of it?
I got a lot of good like contacts that day. I know that might sound kind of like cliche, but everyone in the room was like a $7 to $10 million entrepreneur. And then
You were the smallest guy in the room?
As far as like revenue, yeah, because I'm sure not all those guys.
You're probably the youngest guy too.
For sure. Everyone else was like 20 years older than me or something.
Yeah.
Except one dude, he was just a few years older than me, and his business is social media. He has 40 million subscribers. He was like 29 or something. But besides he and I, like everyone else was like 40 to 60.
Yeah.
$100,000 for one day. That's amazing.
And I mean, would I do it again? I guess we'll see after like 6 months, see if I've succeed with these 2 new locations. But if, like for you guys or for anybody, if you're watching this and you're like, well, is the problem that I have in my business, would I pay 100 grand to not have that problem anymore? I mean, if the answer is yes, then.
But what was the problem exactly?
Well, my problem is I feel like I just keep hitting this like revenue ceiling. I'm like, we did $1 million in 24, then like 1.5 million in 25. And I feel like
the marketing strategy is capped.
Yeah.
I feel like, sorry, but I feel like what you're doing is capped. And I've seen it with Ryan where look at his wholesale business, how much it's done for 10 years.
Yeah.
And then he can go start M19 that does hundreds of thousands of dollars easily in a month.
Yeah.
Where to do that in wholesale consistently and keep growing is like,
and something else
almost
Hormozi told me,
impossible.
he's like, and with your business, there's no like recurring component of
yes.
it. Which he basically was like, why would you start a business that you
You
know,
get
it's
paid
like
once.
every month you have to like start
at
over
zero.
essentially. And I'm like, yeah, no, like that, you know, that there's a lot of truth to that. And
Yeah.
he told me, he's like, dude, I've never seen a wholesale business do more than like $7 million in revenue. And he said if it were me, he wouldn't even waste his time doing this business. But I think perspective is everything. Like, would you start up a couch flipping business right now? Probably not. It's not really worth your time.
Yeah, it
you know?
depends where you're at.
Right.
Yeah,
And
for
so,
him,
like,
it's not worth it.
right. So like
Yeah.
for him, you know,
Yeah.
being worth almost $500 million, I can see why that would be his advice. For me, I'm like, well, this is really all I know how to do. It pays the bills, I guess.
Well, it's just reverse engineering your goal, right? So
$100 million is not going to happen.
no, it won't happen
in real
wholesale.
estate.
It honestly won't even happen mainly in real estate. Like
Yeah.
it's just really hard. Like Cardone, and remember we had the conversation with Cardone?
Yeah.
It was the same thing. You would have to be the absolute unicorn of unicorns holding on to crazy amounts of rentals that are finally paid off 40
Yeah.
years later.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. And that doesn't, like, when I say I want 100 million, I don't mean like 40 years from now, right? I mean like by the time I'm in my mid 30s. Because
Oh, well, then for
So
sure
you
it's not
gotta-
going to
so
be
you
any
gotta
of these
clear
things.
right now.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
gotta- You have a better chance with the window cleaning, I would say, than real estate. I'm serious. Yeah, I would say, because you could go way wider
Yeah.
with window cleaning.
And I know those businesses sell. Like
yeah.
yesterday, a couple dudes, I met a couple dudes from my friend yesterday. They're like, oh yeah, I sold my window cleaning business. The multiples weren't anything crazy. They were like a 4x, but I mean, still, that's not like,
I know.
I could, you know, you could grow a window cleaning business to a few million in EBITDA. And
When I went to Alex Hormozi's workshop and I left, I just felt like so disappointed, because like I asked him the same exact questions, and I was asking him about education, and he pretty much was just like, dude, like if you go start a real business, then you could see like something that you scale, you could back out of, it could keep running or sell, but like what you're currently doing can't do that. I was like, ah, damn.
yeah, I mean, he told me that he would sell the business to like a customer. So you mentioned a company earlier. I think someone like that would be a good person to like maybe buy a wholesale business.
Yeah, but I don't even know how much they would really pay,
Right.
because
And-
then you would have to keep, it's all your connections.
Exactly.
You have key man risk.
Right. And so that's kind of something I see with it as well. So for now, I mean, we already started up an Arizona market that's been doing decent, nothing like brag about. And then we started up a market in Florida as well that we just closed our first deal on. And so that market is brand new. We made like 17K on that one. So we'll see. I'm gonna go hard at this, you know, for the next like 6 months or so, and see if I can get them somewhere close to like what my Vegas team is at. And then if I can do that, then we're doing, you know, $4 to $5 million a year at that point. So that would be pretty cool. But
I would say you
we'll
should
see.
just start another business, because if you're already doing new markets, that's like starting a new business. Like you're starting from scratch. You got to learn the market. You got to hire the people. You got to get all the contacts. You have to like go through the learning of escrows and finding the buyers and like all this crap. Like at the same time, you could start a new business.
Yeah, starting a new market has been tougher than I thought, because I
Yeah,
was like,
it's a
oh
new
wow, I'm
business.
really good at generating leads and I'm really good at closing them. But that's kind of when I was like, there's a lot that I've gotten good at over the years that I didn't realize that, you know,
Yeah.
like you gotta like, how do you underwrite these deals
And
accurately?
relationships. Agent outreach
Yeah.
is just relationships. So now you're going to have to go make brand new relationships, where in Vegas, you've had people that you've known for years and years and years.
So I'll say a bunch of things.
Okay.
So I was just golfing with one of our M19 guys. He's also a member of my club. They do 175 million a year,
Jeez.
and they've gotten offered lots of money to sell their business. All they do is freight.
Damn.
They just deliver stuff. That's it. And, been doing it a really long time. Freight's not going anywhere. Their customer value could be worth millions. They get one customer that's worth millions to them that year. The churn is like 20 years for those types of customers. They just never change who they use. And so it's like, those parts of it are very real for like going to a massive like enterprise level. I would say you know, with what Alex said, it's true too. Like, you know, having to start from zero every time sucks. That's what I've realized over the years. I would also say, you know, there are bigger wholesale companies. Like I know some that are doing 10 million plus, but they're ultra rare. I would say the model you're trying to follow has already been built out by New Western and like Net Worth and stuff. They've already done that. And, you know, like it's possible. It's taken them 20 years to get offices set up and, you know, do what they do. So, you know, there's a model there. I don't know what they're worth or how valuable it is and everything else, but they're the best that it could possibly be, is my point, you know?
Yeah.
And I don't know that the payoff is really worth all the effort that could have been put into a different vehicle. Yeah. And it's like flipping couches, right? To your point you said earlier, it's like, I could just build the best couch flipping business of all time.
Yeah.
And it's like, what's the upside of that?
Yeah. Cause one of the guys that was at the event with me that day, he was like, and who knows? Cause I mean, you can always believe the grass would be greener on the other side, and maybe it is, right? But maybe not.
It's not. I've done a million businesses. I can tell you it's not. They all have the same issues.
What this guy was saying is like, dude, the amount of effort that you're putting into this like wholesale business or trying to grow it, if you put that same effort into like a different industry that is proven to, you know, grow to 8-9 figures, you could do it. And I mean, who knows? Maybe that's true. Maybe it would also be good still.
Well, it just goes back to what's your end goal, right? Because, and this is where we're bringing up of like, what do you actually want? Because when I was first trying to make money for the first time, I flipped couches and my goal was like, bro, if I could make like $5,000 a month, like this is, and then couches did that. And then I got to 10, I'm like, dude, this is amazing, but it's not going to get to 20 or 30
or 100.
Well, that wasn't even a consideration. I'm just like, I can't even get to 20,000 a month. Like I am flipping every couch in Las Vegas. Like literally, that's how I feel. I'm like, I am buying, and to what you guys see on the MLS, you're like, I am hitting every listing multiple times. Like I know for a fact there's like not a lot more to squeeze.
Right.
And I knew that with couches. I'm like, I am the best in Las Vegas at buying a couch on Craigslist within seconds. Nobody can compete. And it was just like, this is the cap. I've reached it. And then, you know, I get into flipping houses and I'm like, oh, I wonder how big this can be. And, you know, we got to the point of doing 100 and I'm like, okay, like it's making a few $1 million a year and there's a ton of rent. Like this is kind of the cap of what it is. And then, you know, we get into education and social media because I hear about what these guys are making. And, you know, I've seen people do $100 million in education. Hormozi is one of them.
Yeah.
He's made all of his money in education. Like it is what it is. So, you know, I disagree with him there of like education can't, because he's living proof that it can.
I'm not saying, I don't think he said that education can't.
Well, you said that.
No.
You said.
I said what?
Well, you were saying you felt like crap because you came in to grow the education company.
Yeah.
And then he's like, you shouldn't do education because it
No,
sucks.
I was asking him about building something to sell. And he was just like, it's very unlikely to sell an education company, not make $100 million.
Yeah. So either way, right? Like you do that, like, and education's great, but then you realize like to the point of where I'm currently, my mind is at of like, it's not even that like 100 million's the goal. Like for me, I'm just like looking at just making the best use of my time. I'm like, if I'm going to devote 40 hours a week to making money, which is what a business is, how do I make the most money?
Yeah.
And I'm just looking at it from that lens. There is no outcome I'm looking for.
Yeah.
It's just maximizing the 40 hours I work every week.
Yeah. For me, there's just like things I want to do. Like before I got into entrepreneurship, when I was like 17 or whatnot, I was doing Uber Eats or Postmates at the time. And I got a delivery to this like really nice house, and now I know that's McDonald Highlands.
Yep.
But that day I was like, I want to have a house.
I want to live here.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And so that's been like the goal. And could I maybe afford like a bottom feeder house in there now? Sure, but what I really want is I want to have
feeder house.
Yeah, you know, like a $3 or $4 million house. Sure. But I'm trying to have like a compound at like the top of the mountain for like myself, then my parents. You know.
Yeah, I got a mountain still. I could sell you it right
Yeah,
now.
but it's outside of the gates.
Yeah.
Like I want it like in the gates. So
Yeah.
I'm trying to, and land is really expensive there. And then if I want to build like the
Yeah.
house for me and my soon to be wife and our hopefully kids in the future, that's going to cost a lot of money. And then if I want to have like a house next door for my parents, that's going to be expensive too. And then I want to be able to afford it like it's nothing, like it's $100 or,
Yeah.
because I don't want to spend all this money on this house and then feel like I'm like house rich, but now I'm cash poor.
Yeah.
So it needs to be like discretionary money.
Yeah.
And then, so
I guess the point I want to just make to the viewers is because there are a lot of viewers who are like, they're still at step one. And they're like, should I even get into wholesale or whatever? And it's like, yes.
Yeah.
All three of us in this chair right now, the wholesale, there is no step 2 or 3 without the wholesale in the beginning, right? To even have the opportunity to think about, I had to flip couches to first get into flips, to then get into education, to then get into the next big thing. Like it's a progress. You can't jump to the end. And so I think it's important for people to know that. But yeah, I mean, like if the goal is, that's the constraint, $100 million before 40, it for sure will not come from wholesaling. It's most likely not going to come from real estate. It takes too long for real estate to compound. It's going to come from starting a business that you sell. That's the only way. Or you win the lotto.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or, I mean, hey, we live in Vegas. Maybe I should start gambling a little bit.
You could start gambling.
That's also a great side hustle.
That's great. I've been gambling on the golf course. I'm up.
Yeah.
I'm up pretty big.
Yeah.
Is that how it works? Like
we bet like, all the theoretical bets you were giving us earlier. Yeah. We do that in real life on the golf course.
Dang. What's the biggest bet you've made?
It's going to be on YouTube soon. Go subscribe to the M19 channel.
There we go.
I had a putt for $8,000 this last trip.
Did you win or lose?
You have to.
All right.
You have to subscribe.
Yeah. Do you ever gamble at the casinos or is that not your thing?
I used to gamble at the casino when I was 21.
Oh, nice.
Did I ever tell you I won a poker tournament?
No.
I won a poker tournament here in Vegas when I was 18.
That's awesome.
They didn't check IDs and yeah, for real. Because they told us that. So I came back home for winter break during college. And I always played poker. So I played full tilt in all those online games like when I was like 16. And I did it throughout college to like provide in college too. I forget. I've done like every hustle you can imagine.
Nice.
So I'm playing online poker and doing all this stuff. And my buddy was like, hey, at the Sahara at that time, before like it's nice again, it was like the old ghetto Sahara. And they're like, they have a tournament. It's every night. It starts at 6. The buy-in's like $50. They don't check IDs. And we're like, okay. So I go, they don't check. And, there's like 300 people in this tournament. Tournament's going, it's going. It's a quick tournament too. It's like maybe 4 or 5 hours to get to, like they raise the blinds and stuff really fast. I get down to the final table with 10. And I'm thinking like, dude, they're for sure going to ID me.
Yeah.
Like,
I was going to say, how do they not?
Yeah. I'm like, if I win this thing, like I have to get ID'd for this payout. People just keep getting knocked out. We're down to like the final 4. And I'm like, now the thought's going in my mind where I'm like, I should probably like lose.
Yeah.
So I just like walk away with something. Another person gets knocked out. Another person gets knocked out. I'm heads up. And I'm like, dude, you know what? Like, it might now be time to lose.
Yeah.
And the dude, when we go heads up, everybody's like now watching too, because everyone who's got knocked out's like seeing who's going to win. So you got this young 18-year-old and some dude, I don't even remember what he looked like. And the dude goes to me and he says, all right, I just want you to know, I don't chop. And I was like, what? I didn't ask you if you were going to chop. And for those who don't know what chop means, it means like we don't like actually play to win. We just split the winnings right now. So we would both be like, hey, you know what? You just want to split the winnings? Like,
yeah,
first and second place, we'll just chop it. And he's like, I don't chop. And I was like, I didn't ask you to chop, buddy. Okay.
Buddy.
And he had about like a 2-to-1 chip advantage on me. And what he didn't know was heads up was my game online. I would just play like 4 heads up games at once online because it was just way more fun just because there's way more action when you're heads up. You're always just playing that one person versus like a table of like 8. So anyways, I bully this fool. Like I'm going all in like every hand. and stealing his blinds and all this stuff. And then now I'm the chip leader. Finally, you know, and I had bluffed him a few times and showed him just to like psychologically mess with him. So, you know, I'd go all in, he'd fold. I go show him like 9-6, and he's like, this freaking kid. So then I pull up pocket aces, and I was like, dude, he's going to think I just have bull crap again. I go all in. He goes, call. He flips over ace king. I was like, sorry, dude, you caught the wrong time. And I show him the pocket aces. He's just like, and I win. So I won with pocket aces.
Dang.
End up going to the cashier. Like everybody's like, dude, congrats. I'm like, thank you.
Yeah.
Like acting like I've been here before. Thank you. And then end up you know, tipping the dealers and stuff. And I go to the cashier, and I think it was like $2,000 is what I won. It wasn't like this.
Yeah.
It was only a $50 buy-in. It wasn't like this crazy tournament. And they just handed it to me. And I was just like, all right. I just walked out of the casino.
Can I leave?
Yeah. And I was like, okay. And then I left.
Dang, that's funny. Yeah.
So I've always gambled, just to answer the question.
That's funny. I've never played poker. Not sure how that game really works, but I like to play blackjack on occasions with my friends, like high school buddies or college buddies of mine. And they always make fun of me because I mean, they make like 30 to 60 grand a year, like all of them.
Yeah.
And when I go to the casino, I always bring $100 with me. Like that's all
Just
I'm willing to buy in for. And my friends, you know, they make 30 to 60 grand a year. They're buying in for like $300 to $500 a piece. And they're like, bro, you make so much money. You're only buying in for $100. But sometimes I win, and then other times I lose. So the times where I lose, I'm like, I'm so glad this wasn't like 10 grand or something. Cause you know, so I just go for fun on occasions. I do love watching gambling videos online. I watch them pretty
Really?
Yeah, that's like a little hobby of mine, you know, a few times a week.
Like you watch like these Steve Will Do It videos and stuff, or what?
Yeah, or like I watch like a Vegas Matt or DGen Dalt or like Bluff and Bob. They'll just go.
And Bob.
Yeah. Oh, he'd be a great one to be on the podcast.
I like his name. I've never heard of him.
Yeah, he's blown up on YouTube in like the last year. He went from like 0 to like 1 million subscribers in a year. It's kind of insane, but he's really entertaining to watch. He goes to these casinos in town and he'll buy in for 20 grand, play some blackjack, and I like to watch that, but I don't see myself buying in for, you know.
At the Suncoast, I got kicked out one time for counting cards. And it was just literally like I was betting like $200. Like I had $200 and I got kicked out within like 10 minutes.
Really?
Yeah. It was crazy.
Yeah, I'm not that advanced. I just, you know, I don't even know what I'm doing sometimes. Like I have all my hard totals memorized, but I'm not sure what to do with like my soft totals or anything. Like, am I supposed to stand or hit a soft 18? Like I just stand on it, but I don't know. So I just kind of go for fun. If I win 20, 40 bucks, whatever, I usually end up spending it on like Panda Express. Or if I lose and I lost $100, like
every M19 event, I always let everyone know. I go, hey, I'm not like a peer pressure of gambling, but I'm open. Literally. And I go, I will take any bet, any price, but I'm not going to like anchor a number. I'm like, any price, any bet, I'm open.
Interesting.
So I bet 100 grand, or I tried to, not at a casino, but I wanted to lose like some weight, and so I lost like 20 pounds in Q1. And I made a post in your school community. I was like, hey, look, if anyone also wants to lose some weight, we can be accountability partners. If whoever doesn't hit their goal has to give the other person whatever dollar amount we agree on. And I was trying to get someone to do 100 grand with me because
dang,
yeah, because I knew that for 100 grand I would be locked in. I would be locked in. And so the deal that I made with people was, if you hit your goal and if I hit my goal, then it's just a push, right? Like you know. So I knew that if I could bet $1 million, and as long as I hit my goal, I don't have to worry about losing a dime. But no one wanted. I found one guy to bet 20 grand, and so I was like, all right, I'll do that deal. And then like the day after, he asked me if we could just drop it to 5, and I was like, all right, fine. So he hit his goal and like I hit mine, so no money was exchanged. But I knew, you know, even for like 5 grand, I was like pretty locked in. But for 100 grand, I would probably had abs or something by now.
Yeah.
So
we'd have got you on Reddit TrueTad.
Yeah. Would you go to the casino and play 20 grand? Like if you were doing a YouTube video with well, let's say there's like a YouTuber like this Bluff and Bob guy that I'm telling you about. He's like, hey, let's go shoot some content. You know, buy in with me for 20 grand. Would you do it?
No.
No. Okay.
I see no benefit.
Would you do 10?
No, I don't. So here was my thing. I gambled as like a job.
Okay.
Like that was a hustle for me. I was like, I made money gambling, you know, like I was a poker player and I could win and, you know, all that stuff. Then the other stuff like counting cards and craps and stuff probably was a wash. But like the poker is a skill-based game. But by the time I finally learned how to make money in like ways that had like very little risk, AKA flipping couches was like the first one. I'm like, dude, why would I bet? I can guarantee I make money if I just do this. And then it became, you know, the same thing with real estate. I'm like, I could spend 4 hours at the casino, or I could spend 4 hours finding a deal, guaranteeing me to make money. And so like now, even too, the way I look at it is I do gamble every day. It's called ad spend.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like we spend 10 G's plus a day, you know, running ads. And I'm like looking at them. And as long as they do what they're supposed to do, it's a guaranteed win. But some days we lose.
So I'll ask a question to each of you guys. 10 years from now, and I know you just said Ricky Carruth asked you like, what's your 5-year plan, right? So my question's like similar but different. What would you like your life to look like, or both of you, 10 years from now?
You think Davila?
For me,
Davila for sure wants an exit.
I just want an exit. No, like for me, honestly, I want to be healthy for sure. I want to have a good relationship with God and my wife and all my kids. And like business wise, so all that is first.
Okay.
That's like first for sure. Business wise, I mean, it would be cool to be making over $2 million. I've never made over $2 million.
I mean, you think it would take you 10 years to figure that out though? Because
I mean, I don't want to just take it for granted. Be like, yeah, I can make $2 million. Like,
he's like, I haven't. So
I haven't. So I'm not one of those gurus that's like, yeah, you just 10x. Like, I wish. if that was the case, I would have done it. Yeah,
I'm trying to 2x.
I would have been 10x. I've been in real estate for 10 years now. So, so I would say, yeah, I would be happy, honestly, making over $2 million a year net. Like,
Okay.
I don't think after that, like, I don't know if there's much more that I could want.
So I'm curious what y'all's thoughts are on this. Like before you answer, I feel like at least where my financial like stuff is, and you guys are in a different like tier and whatnot. I think I'm very quote like well off for like the house that I live in, like the lifestyle that I have. I live in like a $400,000 house. I don't really do anything all that fancy. I go out to dinners or whatnot. Everything that I do feels like pennies to me in the current lifestyle that I'm in. But I'm also not like balling enough to be, like I can't go buy like a $50,000 shirt or something.
You don't own a house yet, right? You don't own like a good house yet.
He said, yeah, he lives in a $400,000 house.
Yeah, I mean,
that is a lower class house in Las Vegas.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. That's a lower class.
It ain't even middle class.
Yeah.
Well, to be
that's
fair,
below
it's
that.
like a 450 house. But
that is still the average house is 450.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I live in like an average house, right? My mortgage is like
that's below
a little bit.
That's not middle class.
Yeah,
a middle class house is like a $700,000-800,000 house in Vegas.
Dang. Yeah.
That's the reality.
Sorry. So do you guys
ever class right now? Yeah.
I don't know how your guys' like personal expenses are or anything, but for me,
and there's nothing wrong with that. And there's, just to be clear, because people are going to talk crap, there's nothing wrong with that. I'm just saying
it just is.
Yeah.
So in my personal life, I spend like $4,000 a month on average. And so when you compare that to like what I'm netting in my business, right, that's like
nothing.
Way less than, that's not even 10% of like what
you live making off 10% of your income.
Yeah. So I feel like everything that I do is always like, oh yeah, I don't even really, I just like swipe the card. It's no big deal. But I'm not like rich enough to be at like the next level where it's like, oh, I can just go buy a Lambo every week if I wanted to or whatnot. Are you guys ever kind of in like, I don't have enough money to be at like this like next level lifestyle versus I'm just,
me and Davila have had this conversation over and over again, like about living expenses. I'm not going to say it because it just.
How much do you think his living expenses are a month?
I'm going to say 50 grand.
No.
Is it more or less?
Way more.
So 10x that shit, bro. What do you
No, it ain't. But yeah, I mean, yeah, and I tell Davila this. I go, that takes into account my own living expenses, my parents, my in-law. We pay for everything for everybody.
Yeah.
My giving, like it's a lot. So
yeah,
I got to make a lot to cover my nut.
You haven't really like experienced life yet. Right?
You ain't even married.
Yeah, you're not married. You have no kids. Your parents aren't retired. Like you're still like you're doing good. You're doing way better than 99.9% of people your age, but you're not yet like a fully grown adult where your girlfriend or whatever wife is not working, your parents aren't working, you have a house that you actually love, you have kids that need to go to daycare or like preschool and then go to school and all this crap.
I would even encourage you to buy the bottom feeder house, you know?
Oh gosh, I hope Stephanie doesn't watch this podcast because so okay, I'm curious
because she wants you to buy it.
Yeah.
You should. You don't just jump to level 10. You know, like my house is okay. So when I was your age, Mindy and I had just gotten married. And we bought a $175,000 house, which is a $500,000 house today. So it's the same house.
Exactly. Yep.
And then we moved into a $300,000 house, which, you know, from 175 to 3 is a jump. Then I bought a $600,000 house, which is where I was living.
West Wind?
That was West Wind. Yep. It don't matter. And it became worth, you know, after everything, I sold it for like 1.2 or whatever the number was. And then I bought, you know, now my house today, which is a $3 to $4 million house. I can tell you, there's not a ton of difference between West Wind and my current house.
Yeah.
The main difference is obviously the size is bigger. It's twice the size, but like you don't have 4 kids. Like you're totally fine with a 3,000 square foot house, like as like the peak. Like it's a lot. You know, we had an 1,800 square foot house. Then we went to 3, and now we're at 6.
Yeah. There is a difference between 1,800 and 3,000.
Yeah, for sure.
There's a big
But there's like, for you having no kids, 3,000, which is like, you know, starter level in a premium neighborhood is more than enough.
Yeah.
I would also say the big difference between my current house and that house is that, I'm a golf course member and I live at the course. That's the main benefit. Is that I get to drive my golf cart onto the course. Yeah. If I wasn't a golfer and everything, it would have been totally fine to keep living where I was. So that's like the main draw for me. So anyways, my thing is, I was very frugal and all this. We talk about this all the time, but like eventually I started to enjoy life and it was great.
Yeah.
And
now
now
the frugal stage.
Yeah. Now I just have a problem. So, but it forces me to make more money too, because you do get content when your bills are, you know, so you're just like, yeah, dude, I'm good. Like whether I work hard or not, it's irrelevant.
Yeah.
Cardone calls it going to zero every month, right? And you don't have to go to zero by spending more. Like for him, he just gets rid of his money, dumps it into real estate.
Yeah.
You know, for me, it would be, you know, starting new businesses, doing whatever.
Yeah.
Putting money in and having to go make money.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just recently started like the going to zero thing because I was like, man, I have a good amount of cash in my bank account. And then I was like, I can literally not work another day of my life if I don't want to. Granted, that's not what I plan on. But for example, I told you
if you live on $4,000 a month.
Yeah.
But you ain't balling enough to go live an actual legit life with kids and a wife and
support your parents.
Because I just
and by the way, let me add this too. This is what I tell people. They're like, dude, all I need is 10 grand a month or 15 grand a month. I'm like, that's all you need.
Yeah.
How selfish are you to think that that's, and I'm not saying, because you're like, I want 100 million. So my my parents and like, so you're already thinking about other people.
Yeah.
But like, that irritates me when people say that, because I'm just like, yeah, because you're selfish. That's why you think that's all you need.
Yeah.
No, I'm with you on that. So if you were me, what price point would you buy a house in? And before you answer that question, actually, I'll tell you one of the reasons why I was telling Davila that I'm like, I don't even want to buy another house. Because, okay, so the house that I bought in like 22 to live in, right now, my parents are living in that house. And I moved in with my fiance and her dad because her mom passed over summer, and her dad is like almost 80 and he has like a lot of health issues, so we're like helping out. And I have a caregiver that goes over a few times a week and like helps out with him and stuff. But a part of me is like, why do I want to go buy, like the whole point of buying a house like when we're married is like a fresh start, but it's like, why do I really want to do that if we're gonna, you know, bring like your dad in to like live with us and like take care of him for that, I might as well just continue. Like, we can just keep living here, which isn't like what I really want either. It's not like I really want to keep living there, but I spoke with a few lenders and they're like, yeah, dude, you'd have to put like 20 to 30% down. And I'm like, yeah, do I really want to go put a couple $100,000 down on something? And then I don't know. It doesn't like, neither scenario really sounds ideal to me. So part of me is like, well, I'll just save the money for now and just keep living here, keep living in like the, in like the.
I mean, like, look, you guys still, like I said, you don't have kids, you don't have any of this stuff. Like, it's enough. You're clearly fine. You just asked about like, at what point do you increase lifestyle and all these things? And I'm like, you could right now. There would be nothing preventing you from having a middle class home.
Yeah.
I
would go buy $1 million home if I were you.
You'd be
like, I'm serious. That's what I would do.
Because you're for sure. I wouldn't be buying a $2 million home.
No,
with where you're at, no chance.
And the only reason I would go buy $1 million home is because when you look at what $1 million homes,
they'll appreciate
right now,
more.
Exactly. What
it's going to be a better value.
5 years
Your
ago.
$400,000 house is not going to be worth.
It's going to be worth 500. Let's say in 2 years, $1 million home could be up to 1.5. It's weird, but like they just appreciate more.
Yeah,
the houses that are
more scarce.
The houses that I'm looking at right now, they're worth, let's say 1.5, 1.6. Bro, like 5 years ago, they were worth like 700,000.
Yeah,
that is true. Crazy. I was looking at some houses in like West Henderson 5 years ago for like 700, like party homes and by Axis or whatever it's called. And those 700,000 homes now are worth like 1.5.
Exactly.
Which is crazy.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
And I would expect that trend to continue.
Yeah.
As people, because like I said, it's a supply and demand thing. There's only so many houses in McDonald Highlands. There's 1,500,000 houses. They can build them anywhere.
Or 400,000 houses. There's tons of them.
Well,
they're
all
over the place.
And they can keep building them.
Yeah.
They cannot keep building $1 million home in McDonald Highlands. It costs too much. The land is too valuable. It just will not happen ever again.
Yeah.
It's supply and demand.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll see if I even buy one. I got pre-approved just to see like what would things look like. And I got pre-approved for like a couple million. It was like in the high 2s or something.
Yeah, I wouldn't do that though.
But I told the lender, I was like, dude, I'm not doing that because they wanted like 20 to 30% down.
Your mortgage is going to be like mine. You don't want
my mortgage was going to be like 17 if I went for like a 2.9 or something like
that.
I
said, you don't want that.
And I was like, that sounds like hell
not
to
that
me.
bad. For 2.9?
Mine is like 20.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways, yeah. But I get your level of income for what we've all just said the last bunch of years and where it's at. You don't want to do that, especially since you don't even know what your next stage is going to be in business and how you're going to tackle that. But I do think you could definitely buy $1 million home. I agree with Brian on that.
Even if I had to put 20 to 30% down.
Yeah, because you just told me on the call, you just gap funded a deal with a guy, and you gave him like $500,000, like your savings.
Yeah.
Like personally, and this is where the frugal people would disagree because they're like, dude, right, great job. You're gonna go get your 15% interest rate, man. I'd be like, bro, I would rather ball out and put $200,000 down on the $1 million home and have an awesome life, even if I don't make as much money. And there's an argument to be made about Brian saying you might make more money because of the equity.
Yeah. And just so the listeners
but take the equity out of it. I'm just like, I'd rather live a dope life.
And just to be clear also for all the listeners, I'm not saying go buy $1 million house that's worth $1 million.
Yeah,
go
you're
buy
gonna get a deal too.
$800,000 or $700,000 house that's worth $1 million. Right. Then you just built.
Now you for sure got 100, 200 of equity.
Yeah.
You doubled your money kind of.
Yeah. Buying it at a deal is like it's like a
but that's why that helps you
like
justify
my current house, and who knows what it's worth today, but when I bought it, I was all in for $3 million and it appraised for 3.9.
That's insane. Yeah. No, I mean that's crazy. So interesting because you said you probably would have taken that 500 and just spent it on yourself. That's good to know because I was like, I'm all about how can I make more money? Like that's really my biggest focus, like in like the business world, right?
I'll be honest. I think about the use of money far more than the return of money. I put significantly more value once you start. Okay, let me take this a step back. Once you start making good money, I value how you use it more than the higher return. Now, when you're broke and you don't get the choice of how you feel. You need to like make money, be wise, save, maximize return and whatever you're going to do. But when you're a guy like you who's young, making great money, who's smart, you're not, going to blow it, and you gamble $100. Like, I'm not worried about you losing your money.
Yeah.
So really, is there any added benefit that you just made 15% on that money you lent out? No, your life doesn't change at all.
Right.
But does your life change living in a whole new neighborhood and your fiance's happier and, you're happier and everything else? For sure. Your life does actually change.
Yeah.
But your life will not change with that deal you just did.
And it's very risky.
Yeah, that deal is risky too.
Yeah, you could lose that whole thing.
Yeah, the market turns, there's risk.
Yeah. No, hey, he said he'd pay me back if he lost it.
I don't know how much money you have, but if you gave someone $500,000, anytime money leaves your bank account, there is a chance it doesn't come back.
Yeah,
sure.
that always scares me. I feel like every time I lent EMD, or not lent EMD, but submitted EMD on a property, for some reason, I would always the deal I lent, or not. Why do I keep saying lent? But I put EMD in on this house I was going to wholesale, and then the seller went ghost on us, and my EMD just sat there for 11 months, dude.
Yeah, 11 months.
Yeah,
yeah, and you're not in control on that $500K deal. Life happens to people.
Yeah, it does. And I'm not saying and this is not a reflection on who you gave it to at all. We're just talking in
general,
Yeah, in
right?
general, yeah.
Yeah, I just think, to me anyways, right? What improves my life today? Is it getting an extra 5% return on my money? No.
Yeah.
Literally, that will change nothing about your life, my life, or his life. Once you've made money, that changes nothing.
Do you think there's an argument to be made at all? Because I don't feel like I'm not living life. Granted, my opinion might be different than yours or yours, but I'm happy with my life,
Yeah.
And for me, I think people have different goals. Maybe your goal is you want to enjoy the money that you've made. For me, my goal, I get a lot of fulfillment from watching my money grow.
But you just told me you want $100 million to do X, Y, Z.
Right. And so that's
But you're thinking you're going to grow and live in a $400,000 house until that moment. And then it's just
no,
bang.
Yeah.
That's kind of the plan. So,
I know. That's why I'm bringing it up. That's just not, that's number one, stupid.
Yeah.
And number two, not going to happen.
Okay.
That's like the people that come into coaching and they're like, I make $50,000 a year and
I make $1 million next year.
Yeah. And you're like, well, how? Well, I don't know. It's math doesn't.
But even the point of why it's stupid and not going to happen is that, okay, on the road to $100 million, you're going to make $5 million, right?
Yeah.
And it's so I'm really just going to keep living in this $400,000 house, making $5 million a year. Because that's the only way you get to $100 million. You've had to have made $5 million in a year.
For sure.
Right? And so you're just going to keep living in this lower income home in Las Vegas. No, you're going to buy some stepping stone along the way. And then also too, why do your parents got to wait to be retired? The moment you have enough money, you're going to go buy them. That's what I did for my parents over the years. Would I like my parents to have an even better house than they have right now? For sure. But they're currently in the stepping stone of house. They actually, I don't know if you remember this. I think I bought it when you were here.
I got that deal.
You got that deal.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I bought a house that I just, he locked it up. And I was like, that would actually be a great house for my parents.
Yeah.
I buy the house. They live there for a few years. A couple years later, we see another deal. I'm like, that actually would be an even better deal for my parents. We buy the house, move them into that deal. And you know what? 10 years from now, you asked the original question, if 10 years from now, I'm just so filthy rich that I can buy a compound like you're talking about on top of the mountain and it's $30 million of real estate and whatever. And I can go build my parents a house in this compound, whatever. It may happen, it may not. I don't really care. But either way, they're living their absolute best today that I can provide for them today.
That's a fair point. And the reason I say I want 100 by my mid 30s is because right now my parents are 55 and 56. So when I'm in my mid 30s, my parents will be 65 and 66. I'm trying to get there, trying to get to that net worth fast because,
But they should live their best life today.
That's fair.
They may not be alive.
Yeah.
That's just the reality.
And even if you do the $100 million, you gave them another 10 years.
They don't have many years left on the earth.
Yeah.
These 10 years to that point are so valuable. And this is what I tell the guys too with young kids. So we're thinking about it from the parents who literally their time is coming up, right? No matter how old your parents are, your time's coming up. You just experienced that with your fiance's mom, right? with my kids, their time is coming up in terms of being out of the house. You know, my oldest is 7. Olivia's 5. Olivia has 13 years left and she's out of the house. You know, that's a limited amount of time. I have 13 years to give them the best life possible while we're living together every day. And then they're going to be gone and it will never happen again.
I hear you. So if you're me, right, I just invested $500K in 2 deals. One of them was like 350. The other one was like 160.
He's going to be calling, hey, can I
get my money back, please, right now?
No. And then
I'm like, cut that part out of the episode.
No.
Let's screw up deals.
And then in cash, like left over, I have roughly about the same amount that I just like invested, right? Or I guess like a little more. But if you were me, it sounds like you probably wouldn't be living in like a $400,000 house.
No.
Look, if you find no extra fulfillment by living in $1 million home, then no, I wouldn't buy something just to buy something. If you think it's not fulfilling at all, Davila's argument would be it's a better investment.
Yeah.
Right? But I'm just
and my argument is you haven't experienced it yet.
Yeah, you don't even know.
Yeah, you live in like a ghetto house
too. You actually don't even know what you might like.
So I know I have like a thing.
He's like, I drove through the neighborhood.
Yeah.
Like I love houses and like
Davila, I took him golfing one time and his life is completely different.
Yeah.
He's like, why do you golf? And I was like, bro, it's tight. Dude, you just freaking hit the ball. I'm like, no, you don't get it.
Yeah.
It's tight.
You have
and
to
now
experience.
He's an addict.
Yeah, well, I love these houses, don't get me wrong. And when I went to the luxury flip that I lent money on, I was like, whoa, this house is sick. It's on the golf course, has a pool and everything. And even though could I afford a house like that? Sure. I think it would slow down like my progress on trying to get to, like 100 million. Cause now I'm going to come out of pocket.
You're not going to get 100 million. You're thinking about it wrong. The house is not going to get you, the house is not going to derail your $100 million.
Yeah.
It's your plan. you have the wrong plan. It's not the down payment on the house.
Wait, hold on. How much did you pay Alex for this advice? I think, how long have I spent with Ray? An hour and a half. Okay. Make sure we send him the bill.
Yeah.
I have no more money.
At least 25.
Yeah.
I'll take a quarter. But no, I think
the house is not going to derail you.
No, it won't. No. Because you have no even use for the money. You were literally sitting on $1 million and you're like, I don't even know what to do with this. Yeah. I'm going to lend it and now I still have money. And like, you have no opportunity cost with the money because you don't have a plan.
Yeah. No, I mean, really, I told Landon, I was like, hey, bro, I'm good for like 500, but I want to keep, like a good amount of money in the bank. I have a business to run. You just like never know.
Yeah.
And so then I thought about it. I was like, I don't really spend that much money. I might as well just lend out an entire $1 million. Like, why not? And so I haven't. But to what you're saying, the opportunity cost would be like the money I could make on that $1 million, because I can make $150,000 a year just like chilling if I just lend out the $1 million.
Yeah, you're gonna $150K your way to $100 million.
Yeah,
no
the
chance.
Plan just doesn't
no,
work.
well, the plan
and you could lose the $1 million.
Yeah,
just so you know.
Yeah,
that money, I don't care who it is.
Yeah,
that money can be lost.
Yeah.
No, that's fair. Okay, so if you were like, if I had to listen to like whatever it is that you guys tell me to do, what would you tell me? Like, hey, do this. Like,
go to Turkey.
Go to Turkey.
For sure.
I haven't forgot about that. Just so you know.
Yeah, for sure. So we need 10 grand to Turkey.
Yeah. 10 grand to Turkey immediately.
Yep, for sure.
You want that. So you might as well, spend that.
No pain, no gain.
Now that I know how much money you have, like, okay, invest there.
Hold on.
And you got to come up with it. I would say if you're truly trying to make $100 million,
for
not
sure.
just
like, I will like, dude,
you're going to have to open another business.
Yeah, you have to.
You have to open another business.
Sure. That
if your life depended on it, if you're like, I'm going to die if I don't make $100 million in 10 years, I'm going to be like, bro, you have to stop wholesaling.
Yeah, but like, okay, and I'll bring up this point too. Like, it goes back to how do you get fulfillment, right? Yeah. Because in my mind, this is how I view money. Every dollar should be used towards fulfillment. Okay? Now, how people get fulfilled is different. So when I pay my parents' mortgage every month and pay their bills, I'm fulfilled. It's not an obligation. It brings me fulfillment. When I give, I get fulfillment out of giving. When I start a new business, I get fulfillment out of starting a new business. When I go on vacation, I get tons of fulfillment going on vacation. So every dollar is a unit towards my fulfillment. Now, even when I invest $1 in a rental or a loan or whatever else, I do get fulfillment by it making more money and compounding. But that is significantly less fulfillment than tangible things that I see in my life today, because my parents aren't going to be around forever. My kids aren't going to be around forever. I'm not going to be young and in shape forever. You know, like I value the present moment so much more than a future that may never happen.
No, I mean, that's fair. I've had this conversation just with myself. And what I find fulfillment is if I can buy that compound and just like live next to my parents.
Yeah, but there's steps before that.
Mm-hmm.
Your
So
parents
you would-
shouldn't slum it for 10 years and then have a compound.
Mm-hmm.
That's stupid. That is literally a waste of their life for 10 years because you thought your parents would have way more enjoyment having something better today for the next 10 years. And it doesn't even stop the plan from 10 years from now getting the compound. It literally doesn't affect it at all. You just think you have to like slum it for 10 years before you get the reward.
Man, Dave Ramsey and Graham would be proud. Shoot, I don't know. No, I hear what you're saying.
I mean, Graham was here a week and a half ago. We were talking to him
Yeah.
off camera about fulfillment in life.
Mhm.
He's changed his mind on like what he used to think.
Yeah, no, I watched the entire podcast.
But you didn't see what happened after too.
Right.
Like his mind is very different than it was years ago. He doesn't get fulfillment the way he used to. He's married now. He goes on travel. Dude, when I met the guy, literally the dude had never been on a vacation. Like now he's like, we went to this, we went to Japan, we went to here, we're going here. He's married. He's making less YouTube videos. He doesn't find fulfillment in what used to fulfill him. Like life changes, you know?
Yeah,
But anyways, dude, we'll talk more about it.
for
But
sure.
I think, man, number one, it's just amazing what you're doing.
Mhm.
You know, it's just been awesome watching your growth. And I think that hopefully today sparks even new decisions for growth and what the next stage of life looks like. And I think that if 100 million's the goal, I think it's like been a good exercise to like flesh out what actually matters and how the path ends up getting there.
No, I appreciate you guys having me. Random question for both of you. I mean, related to all this, and then I'll get out of y'all's hair or your hair, and you and I live a different life. But I told you guys earlier I have 10 rental properties. Would you guys keep those or get rid of them?
Come on, Brian, what do
Yeah.
you think?
I mean, I would just hold on to them for now and then use them as like funds if you get a good opportunity for
Right.
the business.
I was going to say it's just opportunity cost. So,
Yeah.
hey, if you have no better opportunities, which you don't currently right now,
Yeah.
that's why you're lending money in these different ways, then it's just like, oh, just keep it there. But the moment a new opportunity comes that's going to either give you more fulfillment or be like the thing that helps get you to 100 million, then yeah, I mean, it's way better return than the rental.
Yeah. All right. No, I think for now I was planning on keeping them anyway. So good to know that you guys are like,
Until something changes, there's no point to sell them.
Mm-hmm.
yeah. Because if I sold them all right now, I mean, what would I do? Lend the money or keep it in the bank?
changes
It's
Pay
like-
taxes, yeah.
yeah, pay taxes. Ew. Pay recapture on these too. Like that would suck.
Yeah.
Or you could, 1031 them into, a better house that you could,
Yeah. Can you 1031 into a primary? I didn't know that.
well, that's why I stopped talking.
Yeah. Okay.
You could 1031 into an investment that maybe you change your mind on later on.
I see how you're thinking. Yeah.
I didn't say anything. I'm just saying what could
Yeah.
happen if your mind changed after the fact.
Yeah. I went to dinner with Pace and I was sponsored by you guys actually. This was after like one of y'all's events. And he told me, he's like, bro, just get out of the single family rentals and start buying apartment complexes and like RV parks and mobile home parks.
My favorite thing in the world has been the last 6 months watching every single person change their tune on single family, rentals. Because I know Pace just said he's going to sell it all. And then Davila's mentioned 10 other people that I don't even know on social media saying, yep, I'm selling all my single families. Yep, I'm selling all my single families. And I've like, dude, I told you guys that like 3 years ago that
That
these
is
things
true.
suck
Yeah.
and they don't make money. And everybody was a hater.
No, I mean, that is true. You were saying that because I wholesaled a ton of single family rentals to you.
Yeah.
I'm glad you at least bought them before you decided that you weren't, gonna.
So you make money.
Yeah, no, because
Yeah.
I could make money. So
But they do suck.
yeah, I would not recommend buying rentals to anyone who is not willing to at least come out of pocket every month for what the mortgage is. Granted, I'm fortunate to not have to do that, but you should expect to
It will
do
happen
that.
at some point.
Yeah.
You'll have vacancy, like crap happens.
Right. I mean, 10 houses, they don't really make me any money except on a great month, but then the next month they don't make
But
any
you've made
money.
more money running a business.
Oh, for
and that's
sure.
changed your life.
Yeah.
Right?
It's a no-brainer. Like
That's
if
the
you're
point
watching
we
this.
keep making on this show.
Yeah, if you're watching this, you're considering joining Wealthy Investor. And
There we go.
man,
There we go.
Yeah.
Good ad.
Yeah, here we go. Right. So take it from me. Can I make an actual
Yeah,
ad
let's
here?
do it.
Right.
Tell them.
So this camera right here.
Yep.
Good?
Tell
Perfect.
them right now.
Hey, so if you're watching this podcast and you're on the fence about joining Wealthy Investor, you just watched over an hour of Ryan and Brian sharing the story of how I went from being an employee here to being worth almost now $2 million. So if you're on the fence, unless you want to keep being broke, then I would definitely get started in real estate by joining Wealthy Investor, and not to go buy some rental properties that aren't going to make you any money, but to learn how to make money today flipping and wholesaling houses. Mainly wholesaling, flipping sucks, but I would highly recommend you get on a call with their team and just pay whatever the price is, get some mentorship, start getting some deals, and go buy your parents a compound, and hopefully we can go buy one together. So that's my 90-second pitch.
There we go, guys.
Yeah.
Go wealthyinvestor.com if you want to make money and go bald. Peace.
Peace.
Hey, thanks for watching the last episode. If you enjoyed it, make sure you catch the next episode that's playing right now.